is Wednesday's maths lesson. We are still here working and ready to go. Let's get started with the starter task. So on screen you can see today we're looking at full turns, so full circles. So what does the angle around a point add up to? So a full turn adds up to 360 degrees. Because if you think about it, a full turn is like putting two straight lines together. Okay, so two lots of 180. So in each of these questions, you will need to add up the angles that are already there and then work out what you need to add to that amount to make 360. So exactly the same process as yesterday, but this time you're making 360. Pause the video, see how many you can work out. Here are my answers. So I've got 82 degrees, 144 degrees, 75 degrees and 150 degrees. Let me know if you agree with me. How did you get on? I'd love to see your work. So today we're just going to revise long multiplication. Now some of you will have done this in school lots and should be really good at it after a little bit of a reminder. Some of you might not have got on to doing this method in school. So you may want to have a little look now, see if you can try. But don't worry if you find it tricky, because if you're year 5, we'll definitely be doing more of this next year. So I'm going to go through it step by step. So normally we'd look at some pictures and models first, but I'm just going to show you the method today. So we're going to work out 364 multiplied by 35. So on your piece of paper, I would like you to copy this setup onto your page, and I'd like you to be really careful about how you place the numbers. Notice how I've spaced them out, so 3, 6, 4, they're not squished together. I've put the 3 and the 5, so the 3 is underneath the 6 because that's the tens column, and the 5 is underneath the ones. Okay, so line them up properly, so pause the video, set it up nicely. Right, step 1. Step 1 is I always cover with my finger the tens digit. Luckily on a computer I can put a box over it. Okay, so you need to imagine that first of all we're just going to do 364 multiplied by 5. Okay, so that we should all be able to do that. So can you calculate 364 by 5? I'm just going to show you, because what I want you to do for this first one, I'm just going to show you actually. So because it's long multiplication, it can get a little bit confusing if you have lots of workings underneath. So for long multiplication only, we tend to put anything that we carry up here. Can you see that? And it will make sense after why. So for example, I did 5 multiplied by 4, I got 20. So I kept my 0 and I carried 2 to the tens column. Then I did 6 multiplied by 5, which is 30. Add 2, so I ticked it off to make sure that I remembered to do it. So I kept the 2 here and I carried the 3. Then I did 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. Add the 3, ticked it off. I got 18, so I wrote that answer down. Still kept my answers, my digits nice and spaced out. Okay, so in long multiplication it is better to put the carried digits up here because we've got more workings to do now. Who remembers what we do next? Okay, so next we have to look at the tens digit. We need to multiply 364 by 30. But before we start, we always put a 0 in the ones column. Every time. Because this digit is a multiple of 10. So can you copy down the 0? You need to remember to do that. Okay. Then you cover up the ones digit, or you can cross it out because we've finished with that 5 now. So you might want to scribble it out. So we're just looking at the 3. So now you're going to do 364 multiplied by 3. So start off by doing 3 multiplied by 4, then 3 multiplied by 6, then 3 multiplied by 3. And this time your workings can go below here, but just keep them nice and small. So here's my workings. So I did 3 by 4 is 12, so I put the 2 here, carefully lined up the digits, and I carried the 1 down there, nice and small. 3 by 6 is 18, add the 1, 19. So I kept 1, carried 1. 3 by 3 is 9, add the 1 is 10. I've lined up my digits. And I drew my line, because who knows what we need to do to finish the question? We need to add these numbers together, and then that will be our final answer. So, because I've set the digits out so clearly in the place value columns, it was really easy. But if you'd squidged them up and got your place value columns muddled, then you could make a mistake at the bottom. In the SATs papers, these questions are always worth 2 marks. So you want to make sure you get both marks, so it's important to set out work clearly. When I got to 8 add 9, I got 17. So I kept the 7 and I carried the 1 underneath. So you need to record all workings. Right, you've got one more question to do with me, and then if you want to practice some more, you can just make up your own questions and then check your answers on a calculator to see if you're right. Or if you've got a phone or an iPad, there's always a calculator on there that you can use. Or there's a calculator on your computer or laptop. So set up this one on your page, 732 multiplied by 24. Set up the digits really clearly, line them up. Step 1. Cover up the tens digit with your finger or just ignore it. Then complete 732 multiplied by 4. Remember, workings can go up here, and tick them off when you've remembered to add them. Pause the video and complete the first part. Okay, press pause if you're still working. Here's the first bit. Did you get that right? Let me know if I've made a mistake. I forgot to tick my 1 here, but I did add it. Now, I've covered up the 1s digit now because I've finished that part and I'm getting ready to look at the 10s digit. But what am I going to do first? What digit am I going to write underneath the 8 in the 1s column? A 0. Make sure you've put yours in. Then press pause and complete 732 multiplied by 2. Put each digit in the right place and remember to carry digits when you need to. Pause the video and complete that part. Right, did you get the same as me? Now, to get the final answer, add up both of these numbers, do it carefully, and then that will be your final answer. So press pause and then press play when you've done it. So my final answer is 17,568, and I'm just going to check I'm right, so I'm just going to type on a calculator. I've got the same answer. So this is the end of this tutorial video. As I said, if you'd like to practice some more, you can make up questions for yourself. You can just check your answers afterwards on a calculator. So thanks for joining in. Share your work with me. I don't think she'll enjoy this one as much because she's fallen asleep. Oh.